This is the beginning. This is the beginning of a real big build. What's up? We're back at it here, getting the videos going and getting on the journey. And the unfortunate next step is I actually need to replace my running blade. I did not snap in half, but I did break my Levitate blade. So this guy, great running blade. If you take a look though, you can already kind of see one. It's got lots of bits of damage here, but this little guy right here was a little bit too much, and nobody felt very comfortable with the idea of me continuing to run on that. One of the things with these, the feet, the carbon fiber or the Levitate is, I don't know exactly what that composite is, but it's a little bit less carbon fiber than a lot of other feet. But once a flaw gets introduced like that, the chance for a catastrophic failure goes through the roof. Basically, in this case, the foot snaps in half mid-use, and I go down looking like a gunshot victim, which is not cool. So yeah, the big piece of this episode in this week is simply going to be getting a new running blade, testing it out. I'm at my prosthetic clinic right now, and we are getting ready to do the fitting and alignment. So we're not really going to test out the blade very aggressively right now. It's all about getting the build together, getting the alignment right. So that's the big piece of this little bit right now. That's what we're doing today. Everything goes well, we will be out running in the morning. We're testing out 2 blades from Össur. Basically, it all comes down to build height. There is the one that we want to work, but we're afraid that the build height may be literally 2 centimeters too long. And what the build height is basically the space from where my socket ends to the contact point on the ground. And a running blade is just kind of a unique compared to other feet in terms of how it gets fitted. You actually want it to be long because there's a lot more compression that happens. So this thing gets shorter as you make contact, and your goal is to make the height align at compression. So the alignment's and that whole process is just a little bit different. And so that's what we're getting ready to get into. So I'm getting ready to head into the office. We're going to test out these blades. Again, one of them we know will fit and will work. Then there's the one that we're not sure will fit quite right, but we want to because I get more return on that one. So let's go ahead. Let's go dive in and let's go check these guys out. I'm really excited. All right, these are the 2 blades we're playing with. This is the Cheetah Exceed from Össur. We are calling our first round draft pick. Ideally, again, this is the height. This may be the height challenge, but the more data we're diving into, the more confident we're getting. And that's good. We are going to hear a pump that needs to be cleaned out. Oh yeah, now I'm high. This is what I wasn't feeling, and why I was yeah, that height's going to work. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's got some go.
Does it?
That thing's definitely got some go.
It wants you to move forward?
Yes. Oh man. Good morning. Yeah, it's early. That's dope. Yep, sick. Yeah, so yesterday could not have gone any easier considering what we were doing was kind of touchy and kind of it's on the challenging side in terms of getting it right and getting it comfortable. And man, we were able to just
popped that thing right in, and the height worked out basically perfect, which is a combination of my height, my limb length, the stack height of the shoe that I'm using for running, like the whole nine, and it all just kind of like came together perfectly. We didn't really have any big challenges on alignment. The guy I work with is very good at that stuff on eyeballing it, not eyeballing it. Actually, it's kind of the opposite. He had me in the back with him, and we kind of did it together. And no, he was super precise and like laser level. Making all these little things that to you and I don't seem like anything, but him being good at that, and then on top of that being familiar with me, made that so much easier than it could have been. So I'm extremely grateful for that. But really, that was it. I got that one little test run in the back alley, and now we're gonna go bring it out for like probably like 4 miles this morning is probably what we'll do. Me and my buddy Tyler. Um, yeah, it's actually kind of funny. Actually, I'm like super geeked out to run one. When wasn't able to run for that like week and a half, I found myself like, man, I really want to run. And then I'm like, man, who the fuck am I? Um, no, I squat 500. It's different. I don't get excited to run. No, I've been really hungry to run. And on top of that, it's actually, just kind of funny. As I was getting ready to ramp things up, I went and, I got some new socks and got a couple pairs of shorts. I got some socks from Swiftwick. I got some shorts from On. And I was like, oh hell yeah, that those little like extra little pieces that make it fun and exciting. And haven't had a chance to really use them. I mean, technically I could have worn them, but I wanted to get them for running, and so getting to rock the new shorts, wear some new socks. One of the true joys in life is new socks. So, and Swiftwick is my favorite. So Neato Sweeto. But yeah, we're also just getting really nice weather. I think it's like 50 outside right now, so it's gonna get warmer as we go, and it's already kind of, I don't know. I think 55 ish is a pretty good sweet spot to go start a run at. Little cool. You can warm up without getting hot, and you can wear what you want. So yeah, that's what we've got going on. We're getting ready to head to the park and go hit one of these loops and a little bit of change, and we're gonna see how this blade and see what I can figure out on this blade after, 3-4 miles on it.
And poof, we're here at the park. No, I just at a local park. I will do a lot of running here. It's just easy. It's got a good 3 mile loop around it. It's a nice park. It's a solid area. No issues leaving my truck if I'm going to go do a longer run. We've got a few really good parks here in St. Louis to run in, so really fortunate for that one. Knocked down a banana, and I'm pretty certain I underate yesterday. Just super on the go, and then had the prosthetic appointment. I was like, at night, I was like, I can either just like gorge myself and sleep like shit because of digestion, or just kind of just let it ride. So, like, normally I would just eat like a banana, and then I do some electrolytes from Go Switchback and put a little creatine in there as part of my morning routine. But yeah, no, knock down some of these little Scratch Labs. These guys are solid. I got introduced to Scratch through Romp when I was climbing in Ecuador, and then all like the endurance people that were on that climb team were all really high on Scratch. And then so I was at the running store the other day and grabbed a little bit of it. So a few extra carbs and just like this much caffeine. I like caffeine, but I am not somebody that's like consuming 3, 4, 500 milligrams a day by any means. I keep it pretty tight. But like morning like today where I'm a little tired, it's a nice little switch to be able to hit. But yeah, like I said, goal today is really like the primary goal is to just learn and feel the blade. That's the primary purpose of this run. It's also just beautiful out, just there's a big component of this. It's just, man, like I'm just as like interested in expressing my gratitude for being able to run as I am just like wanting to actually go run. And I don't know, it's just a really free feeling to have when you've had the experience of it being taken away, and then had the experience of it being taken away for a really extended amount of time, for me over a decade. And so now it's like I want to express myself in every way that is conceivable, and this is one of the only ones I haven't really, I have done now. But it's the one to dive in on. And so, no, I'm pretty excited. And the reality is this is the beginning. This is the beginning of a real big build. My plan, so just kind of give a little bit of catch up. My buddy, he's running a little bit behind. He has a 4-year-old at home. His 4-year-old and I are great buddies, but he is not the most cooperative kid every morning. So we're working on little kid schedule here today. So, but yeah, so just kind of, I'm planning on just doing some catch up over the course of a few episodes. And so, yeah, so going into where the vlog ended last time, I was about to hit my very last hard week of training and then do a 2-week taper and then get ready to head down to Bryce Canyon for a 30K, which is about 19 miles and change. So what happened instead, so I had 25 miles to run that weekend. I was headed to the Power Monkey camp down in Tennessee, which is about a 6-hour drive, and I was going to need to leave early on Sunday morning. Though that mileage was split, I think it was 8 and 17, 8 on Saturday, 17 on Sunday. And it became like, I don't want to try and run 17 miles for the very first time Sunday morning very early and hop right into a car and then for 6 hours. And so it's Thursday. We're trying to game plan this all out. Okay, easy shift, go Friday, Saturday. So let's have 17 on Saturday. Well, my wife was signed up for a 10K. It's the Go St. Louis, so it was like one of the biggest ones in the city. And then I realized I wouldn't even have room to run 17 because so much of where I would be trying to run would be marked off for the marathon. And through a little nudge, I'm sure at some point Running Niche will get a little feature in here once, twice, or who knows, maybe more. Really good group. The gal running there, she just made a joke like, well, why don't you just run the marathon? And that's actually what ended up happening. I literally ended up signing up for the marathon on 36 hours notice. No carb load, no taper. Wasn't actually planning on that mileage. Didn't have the right shoe. I had a barefoot style runner because all of my road work was on the shorter side. And yeah, got it done. Very slow. It was over 5 hours. I know it was under 5.5, but it was over 5. So that's the last bit of like bigger running. I've been doing some running here and there, but that's like the last bit of bigger running. Like that's what would have been next. And that's how, like, when I joked that I accidentally ran a marathon, that's what I mean by I accidentally ran a marathon. But at the same time, it was like this cool thing. It's like, well, shit, you're able to figure it out. We can figure it out. We got all the, you got the big confidence build, through having something like that. So, right now though, the plan is ultras. I am getting on a call today where I'm going to get some basics. I'm going to get some basics and have lay down a basis of what I'll be doing for the next few months in terms of building mileage, potentially picking out a couple of races and going from there in terms of getting on an actual running plan. I won't be on a formal plan for a little bit. It's going to be a little bit loose and fast, kind of learning how to balance everything. But running is being moved to the A slot now. Running is we're moving it to the A slot. That is the if I'm only going to get one training in, it's going to be my running training now. And so that's the big shift that's happening. I know I don't have a big long I have a big long Instagram journey. If you want to go look at a lot of my lifting stuff, Instagram is the place to go. Although I don't post a lot of lifting anymore. But YouTube's mostly been running because, I don't know, that's what trips my trigger for this longer form stuff. I guess, go figure, go run for a while and you have some thoughts. And yeah, so like I said, this is the start of a big build. So that's the goal. It's I want to go see stuff. And the other thing is I think my motivation's maybe a little different than a lot of people. I'm not looking to see how fast I can run 50K or how fast I can run a mile or how fast. I just want to know that I want to build and maintain the skill of being able to handle distance and being able to handle duration and handle, these longer outputs. Because the longer you can do that, the more opportunities you have for different adventures and different things you can go do. And that's such a big, massive, huge part of what I want to do. I just want to go have experience. I want to go see places. I didn't grow up. I did grow up, I grew up. I somehow managed to make it to 35. Growing up, we didn't travel. We didn't see things. And And then when I got old enough to maybe do that stuff myself, I was in a severe amount of pain. So it was so long before it ever registered in my brain, like, you can do that. You can actually do that, dude. And like last year was where I built that confidence. I talked about it in the last video where I was like, I never actually put a plan out for myself to go do stuff in a year, much less execute it. And so like that was a big part of overcoming like a mental, not like hurdle or a feeling that I couldn't, but there is, I just don't have any history of that sort of stuff. And I had to build some history, I had to stack some proof, earn some confidence. And so that's what I want out of like the running thing is I want just opportunities for experiences. Go see cool places. There's so many like big runs that are in like really cool national parks. And that, like, what a cool way to experience the Redwoods for the first time. Like something like that, or the Grand Canyon, or like what a wild, cool way. And the cost of that is I got to do some running. I got to get some shape, and I have to build some capacity. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's get the blade on. Let's get ready to rock. There's Tyler. He's going to run a 30K in about 6 weeks or 56 weeks. We haven't decided. Oh, getting this guy running today. Yep. All right, 3 miles done. We averaged a 9:33, I think, or somewhere between 9:30 and 9:35. It's funny, at first I was just simply like, this blade's kicking my ass. There's a lot more on it. It's a different length, so there's a lot more to learn. So I wasn't shocked that I came out tired or a lot of adjustment to be made that killed a lot of energy. I didn't think we were actually running faster. Tyler's just really fast, and he likes to run fast. That's me. That's exactly his dream. It's not. But yeah, there we go. First few miles done, and yeah, go eat. I'm gonna do some boxing, then eat again, and probably get out and play some disc golf today because it is insanely nice out. All right, run is done. Man, that felt good to get out and run again, for sure. It's only been like 10 days, but it's been 10 days that I've been wanting to run and haven't been able to. Biggest takeaways here is that I'm definitely going to have to make some adjustments to my gait. And it's really just more the feel of everything. This is a little bit of a longer setup. There's a little bit more go, and the rest of my body now has to adjust to. We've got a little bit more to deal with and handle. So like I felt okay. Now that being said, like I woke up and I use the whoop strap, and I like that. I like using that data. It doesn't make any decisions, but it informs me. And I think I said earlier, I felt like I underate, and if that was the case, which I believe it is, the run felt a little underfueled. My recovery was on the low side, still got it done. And the kicker is, since I've gotten back to running, typically I just cruise when I run for the most part. Like I'm not out pushing pace. I am cruising. I am building mileage and tissue tolerance and all these neato things that I need for the long run of what I want to do. And so I don't really push pace. But the reality is I typically like the same effort that typically gets me like a 10-minute mile, king of 10-minute mile right here. We averaged 9:30 today, which is, it's progress. I also, again, I feel a lot stronger with a lot of the training I've been doing lately. In future episodes, we'll get into the strength training conversation, and that'll get included in some of this as well. But yeah, so got that done. Like I said, a little bit of a lower recovery score. I think it was like just under 50. Why not? I can just put it right here. But again, these things don't make decisions, but they can inform decisions or more inform reflection. That's more how I use it. Like, oh, okay, that meant something. This is what this means on how I feel. But in the end, the training's going to and needs to get done. It can just kind of help me put expectations on the session and stuff like that. So we use that data. About to knock down some breakfast, spend some time with the pup, and probably taking him to go play a little bit of disc golf today.
All right, getting ready to bring this video in for a landing. Just a couple of things we've gotten figured out. One, obviously we've got the new blade. So now the most important thing right now is getting comfortable on it. It is not the exact same thing for sure. And so a lot of my running, really until my body says so, is going to be done on very consistent surfaces. Like yesterday, I ran a few miles around the city. Just our sidewalks aren't that great, and I've realized okay, so I'm gonna be spending a lot more time treadmill running than doing work on the track, with the main focus being getting comfortable on my new blade. And so this is a really important concept I put into all my training, where I have really seen a lot of success, and it is work on one thing at a time. I'm not gonna worry about running 20 miles right now. Plain and simple, let's get comfortable on the blade. Some fitness is going to come in that process as a byproduct. But the more comfortable I get on my blade, the more efficient that process will be. So if I skip that and get worried about other stuff, it's just not going to work that well. Second, we talked about, or another thing that we were talking about earlier in the video, I talked about the challenge of getting a good height match on a blade, because it's a very different scenario. So prosthetics are a precision game, and our primary tool to use is Kentucky windage. If you're not familiar with what I was talking about with Kentucky windage, let's just say it's not that precise. And so I'm going to show a little video right here where my blade needs to be 3 to 4 centimeters longer, because we need the height to match when the blade compresses. And so you'll see every time I step, that blade compresses. And so we have to learn, one, how to get that height to match, but also my proficiency has to be at a level to create that compression and timing on a consistent basis. Otherwise, I'm way off. I'm gonna mess with my hips and back. I'm gonna be wildly inefficient, and now running is no longer in the plus column. And then from there, talking with the coach, we have a basic plan right now on how we're gonna build our base. And our hope is that I will be in a position to run a 50K by July. So right now, currently looking at some stuff, looking at some options between now and then in terms of I may end up hopping in a half marathon here in about a month and a half, 2 months, just kind of get that rolling, just to get in a race environment and to test out some stuff as we move into longer and harder. So again, thanks for hopping in this video. Thanks for watching. All of the like, comment, and subscribes, very, very helpful. Let me know if you've got questions, things that you'd like me to take on in other episodes as I work through this build, man. This is exciting. I'm fired up. I get to use all that energy that I was putting into trying to fight into something that I know can work out for me without somebody else's agreement. So, like I said, see you next time.